My name is Eileen Miyoko Smith, and I'm with Green Action based in Kyoto, Japan. I'm here with Japanese anti-nuclear NGOs and a family from Fukushima, Sachiko Sato and her 2 children. They were natural organic farmers in Fukushima until the accident hit, and of course their lives have been torn apart. In Fukushima, we have a terrible situation. There are 300,000 children living in areas that are highly polluted, and we want them evacuated. And ever since March 11th, we've met with the government. I can't believe how many times. It's like a battle. We keep pushing to have them evacuated, but the government refuses to evacuate. Our situation is far worse as far as evacuation compared to even Chernobyl, because citizens of Japan are allowed to remain and do not get any help in evacuating, even at levels 4 times above what was mandatory evacuation for Chernobyl. And right now what we're trying to do is get the right to evacuate. In other words, government compensation and help if you want to resettle out of Fukushima to protect your family. In the Soviet Union, they gave rights for that at levels that were 1/20th to 1/4 the level of contamination that's being faced in Fukushima. In Japan, Fukushima citizens don't have that right, and we're fighting for that.
Will there be a zone in Fukushima like there is in Chernobyl, around Chernobyl?
There is a 20-kilometer exclusion zone, and those people have been evacuated, but there's still very large hot spots and swathes of very contaminated land outside, even 40 kilometers, 50 kilometers out, and even areas far wider. It would be even at what would be equivalent to 50 miles in the United States. The areas are contaminated. They're so contaminated that ordinarily children under 18 would not be allowed to legally enter, and yet babies are still there. Everybody is still living there, and the Japanese government refuses to evacuate them. The Fukushima Network for Saving Children from Radiation and my organization Green Action and 4 other NGOs submitted a petition, a statement to the UN Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, saying that the UN must come and investigate the situation in Fukushima and save these children because they're being heavily contaminated and continue to live under those circumstances. We wanted to get that word out. We wanted something to happen in Japan, but we realized that we won't be able to make any change until the whole world knows about the situation, and that's why we came to the United States at this time. We went to Washington, D.C., and then we came to New York on the same day that Secretary General Ban Ki-moon of the UN called a high-level a meeting of top leaders around the world to discuss nuclear safety. And we knew that our Prime Minister Noda will be here, saying that Fukushima is resolved. And we wanted the world to know the real situation and that dire situation of the children in Fukushima, so that we could get international help and international voices to pressure the Japanese government to protect the children of Japan.
How can we help you?
What would really be wonderful is if you could call the Japanese embassy and say, is it really true that that people are allowed to live in Fukushima, that people do not get help in relocating from Fukushima, and that it's far worse than Chernobyl, that in Chernobyl the standards were much more stringent, the government helped a lot more in people to self-evacuate. And is that really true? Mm-hmm. And if that's true, you should at least meet the Soviet Union standards. Mm-hmm. And that is the right thing to do in order to protect the children of your country. That's what we would like you to tell the Japanese embassy.